Hi, welcome to How To Tutorials at Eastern Arctic College. Today we're going to look at setting up an assignment submission point using Turnitin. Okay, so here we are within the Public Services course area. What I want to do is set up an assignment submission point in the tutorials unit. So the first thing I need to do is turn editing on, and there are two ways of doing it. First thing I can do is go up to the top right, click the green button. Green button should turn red, and then you've got editing on that way. Or what you could do is scroll down to the administration block, and then under course administration you can turn editing on or off there as well. So once we've done that, we then click on tutorials or scroll down, either way. We go into the tutorials area, and you can see we need to select here the add an activity or resource links. If I click on that, I get the activity or resource chooser, and what I'm looking for is Turnitin assignment. So if we click on that, add, this then takes me into the dialog space for creating the assignment point. So you can see I've already typed in a name, and the red asterisk denotes that it's a required field. You must put a name in there. So anywhere you see a red asterisk, it means that that particular task is mandatory. I've put in a summary. As I said, more detail makes things clearer. I can choose to display that on the course page or otherwise. So I'm going to just tick that to see how that works. Right, submission type. Again, it's a mandatory field. I've selected file upload. So I want my students to be able to upload their files, be they word process documents or PowerPoint presentations or whatever. They need to be able to upload those files to the submission point. The only other thing I'm going to change on here, anonymous marking. So if I leave that as yes, it means that I won't know whose work I'm marking. So I'm going to change that to no. Allow submission of any file type. So I want that to be yes, because I want my students to be able to upload Word documents or presentations. I want my students to be able to see the originality report, so I'm going to leave that as yes. And everything else I'm going to leave as is for the moment. Coming down to assignment part 1. So the reason it says part 1 is because you can have multiple part assignments, all right? We're only using the one part assignment, so we're going to leave it as part 1. And as you can see, the name is mandatory. But in this area is where you set the start date, obviously the date that the students can start submitting their assignments from. The due date is when the students' assignments are due, obviously. And then the post date is the date when marking ceases, after which the staff member will no longer be able to mark the student's work. So coming down to originality report options, if I click on that link, you have the option of allowing students to submit after the due date. So it could be that students had a mishap and not been able to upload their assignment, depending on how you want to conduct your submission point. You say yes or no. I'm going to change mine to yes. Generation report speed. This controls how quickly students get feedback on their reports. So if you select generate reports immediately, as I'm going to do, so resubmissions are allowed until the due. It means that students can get their reports straight away, and as it says, resubmissions are allowed until whenever the due date is. Leaving the next field as it is, store student papers should be standard repository. And then this area here, you want to be able to check your students' work against all existing sources. So against stored student papers, you're looking against the internet, you're checking all these areas for plagiarism, so you leave those as yes. Coming down to grade mark options then, we're not going to use a rubric for what we're doing, but we are going to enable the E-Rater grammar check, which allows students then to allows us to check the students' grammar within the work that they've submitted. Okay, I want to be able to check spelling, grammar, usage, mechanics and style. So I select all of those. And then that's about it. There's nothing else that I need to worry about on there. So once I'm happy about my submission point, I then click Save and Return to Course. Okay, so you can now see that in the tutorials area, a new activity has been added. And if I select that, you'll see down at the bottom here, Test Assignment. That's obviously the assignment I've just added. If I then go to the administration block and then switch role to student, I then am able to see what the students will see. So when they go into Moodle, they'll be notified that there's a new activity, and then if they click on tutorials, they'll see that the test assignment has been created. And if I click on the test assignment link, it will then take me into the handing in point. So that's how you create an assignment submission point within Turnitin. The whole reason behind doing it this way is because it allows you to then use various tools within Turnitin, such as the grammar check we've already met, the plagiarism check we've set up as well, and there's also the grade mark, which we'll have a look at in the next video. If you have any questions on anything that you've seen in the video or anything that you've come across in using your Turnitin or creating your Turnitin assignment assessment point, my name's Delon. I'm the Innovation in Learning Advisor. You can see my details on the screen, or failing that, you can also contact Carl Bradshaw, Lecturer Public Services, who uses Turnitin quite a bit. His details are also on the screen. Okay, thank you.